Hello. That seemed to end just abruptly there. The jingle. I was waiting for the end of the musical phrase, but it didn't. But anyways, hello everyone, and welcome to the reveal for WikiTree Challenge number 6 of 2025. We have with us our special guest, Catherine Wilson. How are you, Catherine?
I'm fabulous, thank you. And you guys?
We're doing fine.
Other than sweltering in the heat.
It is. I live just north of Toronto, and it is very warm up here in Ontario. My name is Greg Clark. I am a WikiTree member, and for the WikiTree challenges, I am officially. My official title is Challenge Facilitator, and along with me is Celia Marsh, who's joining us by audio, and she is our challenge assistant. And for this particular challenge, Chris Ferriolo, who's right there, is the official team captain and has been captaining the ship, finding lots of great stuff and encouraging people to find lots of great stuff for Catherine Wilson. So we're very excited about that. And Louis Kessler. What's that?
We found a lot of great things for
it. A lot of great things. Excellent. And we're going to share some of those, but not. We won't have time to share all of them, or else we'll be here all day. But we will share a bunch of them. So that's great. And also joining us is Louis Kessler, another Canadian from Winnipeg. How are you doing, Louis?
Good.
Excellent. And his role, he was one of the WikiTreeers who worked on the challenge. And in fact, he was the MVP. He did the mostest.
Wow. Thank you, Louis.
Yeah, it pays to be retired, have your family working, and have bad weather during the week.
Yeah, that's right.
His numbers were so high. He did more than 10 times as many profiles as I did, for example.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and Celia's no slouch, so that's pretty impressive.
Dang. So wait, Louis, are you retired? Is that how you're able to do this?
Yes.
Oh God, I can't wait to be retired.
It's fun. It's fun. You can work on genealogy all the time.
Oh my gosh, jealous.
That's excellent. Yes. Yeah. So hello to everyone who's in the chat. People are saying hello. It's great to see you there. And hello to everyone who's watching this after the fact, which, well, considering that this is airing at 12 noon Eastern time, lots of people are probably working or enjoying the summer weather if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, or huddling under a blanket if you're in the Southern Hemisphere and it's cold. But anyways, enjoy what we've got. So what are we doing, you might ask? If this is your first time watching a WikiTree video or about the WikiTree challenge, you might wonder, what are we talking about? So let me just share my screen so you can come along for the ride. So here we are. This is our WikiTree challenge. So this is challenge number 6. We do one a month. And this past month, our guest star has been Catherine Wilson. So Catherine Wilson, if you don't know who Catherine is, well, you're missing out. She's a wonderful person. So let me introduce you to her. In fact, I'm just going to move people around so that, what am I doing here? There we go. Yeah, so Catherine is a genealogy lecturer, an educator, and a professional researcher who has been teaching genealogy classes since 2001. Wow. Almost 25 years. 24 years.
A long time.
That is a long time.
But you know what? I love it. That's the good thing. You know, I joke about wanting to retire. I love my job. I can't imagine retiring.
That's great. She specializes in solving difficult genealogical problems in the Great Lakes region and tracing westward migration from the Midwest. She's the author of The Genealogist's Guide to Grand Rapids, Michigan, and has held leadership positions in numerous genealogy organizations. As a seventh generation Michigander and an Army Reserve wife, she brings both personal heritage knowledge and diverse life experience to her genealogical work. So that's a great write-up, and great to meet you. It's been great working with you and meeting with you.
Thank you. Same.
Yeah. So what is this WikiTree challenge we talk about? So the WikiTree challenge is something that we do. We do it once a month. We pick a special guest, and the focus has been genealogists. And part of that is because, you know, there's some name recognition, and it's fun to work on someone famous. But it also, yeah, it is fun working with someone famous. But the other thing is that genealogists often are the worst people to do their own genealogy because they're so busy helping others.
Oh my gosh.
Get a chance to do their own. So it's a nice way of giving back to the community. So, so that's what we do. And one measure that we use for our success on WikiTree, well, actually a measure that we use on WikiTree to describe how people are connected to each other, is something that we call the CC7. CC for close connections, and the 7 being the number of degrees. Now, you could talk about CC3, so people within 3 degrees and whatnot, but the CC7 is sort of the number that we aim for. And so during this year's challenges, our goal has always been to increase the CC7 count, the number of connections for our special guest. And we did this time. So how do you calculate the CC7, you might ask? So let me tell you. People who are within 1 degree are your nuclear family, people who you are directly related to, your parents, your children, your siblings, and your spouse. Okay, so the connections are family relationships, including relationships through marriage. And then 2 degrees would be people who are nuclear family members to those 1 degree. So people who are 2 degrees. So your grandparents, your grandchildren, your aunts, uncles, your in-laws. And then you go further and further. So because of the relationships through marriage, not everyone who is in your CC7 is going to be related biologically, like by blood. So you could have people who are 7 degrees away, but it's an in-laws, in-laws, in-law. So the neat thing there is that with a CC7, you can go straight up 7 degrees or straight down 7 degrees, you know, if there's unlikely, well, I don't think we found a guest who's had 7 degrees, like great grandchildren. That would be pretty difficult to do.
That would be pretty phenomenal.
Wouldn't it though?
Yeah, I mean, it could happen, but
we go very wide with the, you know, because we go up a few generations, across some marriages, down or up. It's kind of neat, the different ones. And so
basically, it's just like cast a wide net.
It's a very wide net, which is great because then when we are done all of that, we can look at all these people, and some of these people have some very interesting stories, and those are the ones we get to share with you today.
I love the stories.
Yeah, the stories are the best. So if we go to Catherine, so here is Catherine's homepage, and one of the things we can do on a WikiTree profile is we can add categories to it. So that means, so often we add a location category so that all the profiles that come from the same hometown might be listed in the same category, or people who are buried in the same cemetery. Right now, Catherine's page is it's a work in progress, and she has 1 category attached to it, which is WikiTree Challenge guest stars. And so when you click on that list, these are all the other people tagged with that same category. So these are all the famous genealogists who we've helped over the years with this WikiTree challenge.
My gosh, you guys have been busy.
Yes, and look at Lewis Kessler is one of those famous people. Lots of famous people. But you know what? One of the another cool thing about WikiTree is when you're in a group category or group page like this, there's a really neat button right here that says My Connections. So if I click on that, I'm going to see how I am related to all of those people. So some of those famous genealogists I am actually a cousin with. None of them are my direct ancestors.
You and I are a cousin?
What's that?
Are you and I a cousin? Because it's
yes, we are. It's a very distant cousinship, but we are.
Oh my gosh, that is so cool. Hello, cousin.
Hi, cousin. And then people who are not cousins, but we are related through marriages, are the small
Lewis.
Down here.
Look, oh my gosh,
Lewis is not a direct cousin, but we're connected through a marriage. But it gets better because people didn't come to see my reveal; they came to see your reveal, Catherine. So there's a little box right here, and I can just enter your WikiTree ID, which I have memorized after using this.
And Catherine, yes, we are actually 11th cousins. So that's
Chris. You and I are.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, that is so cool.
Mom's side.
So here, looking at Catherine Lang's connections, is it Lang or Lange?
Lang. Yep, Lang.
Lang. Okay.
Hard G.
RG or Bouncy G. It's okay,
this.
Lang. So your closest cousin in all the people that we've done the WikiTree challenge is Lorraine McGinnis.
Oh, Lorraine. Oh. She was
and then
so
James
lovely.
Tanner, Melly Alexander. Do you know Melly? She's the DNA chef. She's Randy Seaver, David Lambert.
Dang.
Scott Fisher, Cece Moore, your cousin's
Roberta?
there.
Oh my gosh, look at how cool
Look at
this
that.
is.
Thomas McKinney. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
There we go. And where's Lewis? Oh, Lewis is a connection. So again, your connection.
If you click on that generations, it'll show you the connection line.
How it connects.
Okay.
That is so cool.
So there is how you are connected to Lewis. From your
through the brooch and the cellulite line. Wow.
Yeah. So one of the things I like to use is this alternative view, because then that gives you sort of the.
You can see it. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. There we go.
That's a browser extension feature.
What one is that? Which browser extension is that?
That's the WikiTree browser extension.
Oh, okay.
No, the alternative view, that's always been there on WikiTree.
Is it?
Yeah, yeah, that's one that's always been there.
Oh, then I'm wrong. It's not, and everybody can see it that way.
Yeah. Now the reverse view button might be an extension. It just swaps the order in which people are written. That might be, but the alternative view has been there since the beginning.
Well, the reverse view works for everyone too.
Yeah.
This
so there we go. So we go down.
Oh my gosh.
There we go.
In the middle there.
Yeah.
Louis Riel is around there. You see Sarah Riel?
There's Sarah Riel.
Is related to Louis Riel.
Oh, how cool is that?
I'm 8 steps from Louis Riel.
Who's Louis Riel?
So, will you explain, Louis?
So he was a Métis leader in Manitoba, and he actually formed the first parliament here. And
wow.
he started a revolution, but the people didn't like that, and he was eventually hung.
Ooh.
But posthumously, he's a hero here in the province.
That is so cool.
Yeah. Is he an unofficial father of Confederation?
No.
No. Okay.
He's just Manitoba.
Just Manitoba. Okay. But very important person in our history. So
that is so fun to look at how this is laid out.
That's cool, eh?
Yeah.
So you're wondering how you're probably interested in how everyone else is related to you who did the challenge, right? Well, let's skip ahead and look at the score sheet. So here is the score sheet for the week. And you can see there Lewis is right
on
top. Oh my
gosh, Lewis, you've been busy.
He has been busy. He has, yeah. So this column here, I believe, is the number of profiles that have been created. So am I reading this right? You created 520 profiles?
I guess I did.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I wanted to hit 500. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he's the GOAT this week.
He
really
greatest
is.
of all time. In second place was Chris O'Connell. Created 78 profiles. Jody Rogers, Guillaume also did over 100. And Chris did 18 profiles, but also got some bounty points.
Way to go, Chris.
Yeah,
and Celia, where are you here? You're 39 profiles plus an interesting find. A very interesting find. We'll hear from Celia.
Oh, so excited.
Yes. Let's see. So there's lots of people have taken part.
Oh, look at some friends. Michelle Enke, she's a friend.
Oh, good.
Catherine Lake Hogan. Oh my gosh, look at all these friends' name. Oh my, yeah. Melanie McComb. Melanie McComb from New England.
Yeah, she helped out.
She's still working. How does she have time to do this? I'm super jealous.
I don't think she sleeps.
Yeah.
Honestly, right?
Seems possible.
That is, oh my gosh, I'm just indebted to all these people.
She just did a lecture
with my interesting find. So
she just did a lecture today in Boston.
Did she really?
Wow.
Oh, that's amazing. And I think most people, or many of the people who are actually watching live in the chat also contributed. So
thank you so much to everybody. This is so fabulous.
Yeah, it's wonderful. So that's the list. Now the bounty points, you can get bounty points a number of different ways. At the very beginning of the challenge, we identify your 8 great-grandparents, and the first person to connect from their line to an existing, like adding a new person and then connecting to an existing
meaning
profile.
Connected to them.
Yeah, connecting to them. Yeah. So they get a bounty point for that. And then on Sunday night, Celia picks some other random people to break down their brick wall. So these are people who don't have a mother or father profile on WikiTree.
Okay.
So if you can add one of those, you get bounty points. And then the other way to get bounty points is you get 10 points if you have an interesting find and you've added that to the list. So those are the different ways of getting bounty points. And you see it's been spread out nicely, though. Lewis hogged a bunch of bounty points for himself. Considering how many profiles he added, that's not surprising.
Way to go, Lewis.
That's a good
the other
thing.
way around, actually. Working on the bounties, I added all the profiles.
Well, there you go. So it complemented. The word combination. So the other thing if we go to the distances tab on the score sheet here, it actually lists each of the people who worked on the challenge and their distance away. Now, for many of them, it'll say no change. That means that the connections, the distance between you and me, or you and the other people, didn't change at all over the week.
Okay.
But in this case, for example, for Ingrid, your connection to Ingrid went from 21 steps away to just 18 steps away.
Wow.
So that got a little bit closer. Aaron Breen, and I think it was Judy. Was it Judy Stutz again? Let me think. I wrote it down here somewhere. The closest ones were 5 away. Anne. Oh yeah, no, it was Anne Fiordalisi who's in the chat and also worked on the. Aaron Breen and Anne both increased by 5 or got closer by 5 degrees to you.
It's also this only shows decreases once you've got a connection through a common ancestor. That's right. The only one it shows. So some people managed to, if they may have already been connected to you as a cousin, but they may have also reduced their distance to you.
The numbers. Oh my gosh.
That's right. So you can see that I'm 51 steps away, and that's a common ancestor. Now our common ancestor goes like way back in time. I wonder if I clicked on that, what would happen? It would show that we're 24th cousins once removed. So
I love it.
Pretty distant, going back to Matilda de Chantillon in 1224.
So you share
not on your Christmas card list.
1/100th
right?
of a centimorgan.
1/100th of a centimorgan.
Oh my gosh. So I have some French in my DNA, possibly.
Un petit peu.
If it came down, right? Tiny little bit. Oh my gosh, that is so cool.
So that's kind of something cool too. There's Anne Fiordalisi. She went from 22 steps away from you to only 17 steps.
Oh my gosh, is that the closest person to me? 17?
So there's her connection to you.
Through the Maudlin line and then the Cundys.
There's a lot of marriages there. So brothers, wives, sisters, husband.
Yeah, but how cool, right? Like that.
I was telling you about the in-laws. There you go.
I just love this connect, right? Because we really are all connected, and this is like a visual representative.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Good. Oh my gosh.
So there we go. So what else? There's the connections. I think those are the fun things about it. Oh, I didn't, we talked about the score sheet, but we didn't actually talk about the exciting thing. So at the very beginning of the challenge, your CC7 score was under 1,000. It was 858.
My score was?
Your score was.
And what did that mean? What's that?
So that means you had, when the challenge began, at the beginning of that week, you were connected to 858 other profiles on WikiTree that were within 7 degrees of you.
Which is still awesome. I mean,
that's still pretty good. Actually, that's higher than many of our genealogists have started out with.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Like Diane's other, hers, she was in the 300s. Like it was.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. But at the end of the challenge, at the end of when this noon last week, when it officially ended, your CC7 score was now 2680.
Holy crap! Like 3 times.
3 times, almost.
Wow.
Yeah, almost 2,000 more were added.
That is crazy.
Isn't that wild? And
oh my gosh!
If we go to your page right now, it's actually you're up to 2,719 connections.
Holy Toledo! That is just phenomenal.
Yeah.
So do you remember when we talked 2 weeks ago? We had the first time that we were doing the YouTube thing. I had to leave almost immediately after we ended because I had a client thing that I had to take care of.
Yes.
And I knew today was going to be so fun. I blocked off the rest of the day. I'm just digging in. I'm so excited. I'm so super excited.
Oh, that's great. Okay. So let me show you some. One of the things we do is we like maps, and yeah, we do like maps. And let me find the link to the map that I thought I had it up here, but I didn't. Before. There we go. So let me put that right there. Oh, okay. So we we like maps and we like charts. So here is a chart. This is a circles chart. So every circle, every dot in this chart represents a person who's within 7 degrees of you. And the actually in this one, you are sitting on top of some of those in the 1st degree circle.
I have a lot of cousins, I have a couple cousins once removed that are pretty active on WikiTree.
Well, that's right, yeah. So as the colors and the rings go out, that goes up to the blue. The light blue is the 7th degree.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's your 828 that you started off with.
Okay.
This is what the chart looked like at the end.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. And you can see that because there's so many, we had to sort of zoom out, make a circle rule to make it fit. And there you are.
How fun is that?
So that's kind of a cool visual.
That's super. What did you guys use to put that together?
Oh, wow. As it turns out, WikiTree has the ability to has an API, so people can actually, some of the WikiTree members who are programmers can actually create their own apps. And this is actually one of the apps that I've created.
This is so cool.
Yeah. Because I wanted a way to.
I thought you were a math teacher.
Well, I'm math and computer science.
Oh, computer science. Dang.
Yeah.
And genealogy.
Well, there's a lot of math. There's a lot of sines and cosines and tangents in this.
Yeah, that's why I'm a genealogist. I didn't do well in math.
Yeah. There's a lot of coding involved in this. I used to be a beta tester for Greg when he was.
Oh, wow.
Apps.
That's right. So this gives you a visual of how much more has been added to your tree since.
That is so cool.
And that was only at 2683, and now you're over at 2700. So there'd be even a few more beads in this rug, if you like, so to speak. The other thing that we can do is, because all the data is, has places attached to it, there's a piece called WikiTree Plus, which is a server that works in conjunction with the primary WikiTree server, and a database is on there, which includes mapping software. So if you do a search for profiles that were created during this challenge, which is what this search was, and then we've mapped them on the world, color coded. The red ones are where people were born. The blue ones are where they passed away.
Okay.
And I don't see the migration arrows. I wonder why.
So can you forgive a little bit of Canadian geography ignorance on my part? What is that blue one all the way at the top?
So it's possible you had someone who died in the Northwest Territories, but more likely that is the geographic center of Canada. So someone who on their profile just put Canada.
Oh, okay.
That's the default Canada location.
All right.
And it's not even really the geographic center of Canada. So I don't know why.
It just decided that place is Canada, no qualifiers.
Yeah, just like if so, is the one in the underneath the horn of
In the sea.
in the sea there
That
underneath
is
Africa?
if you die at sea.
That's the died at sea location, right?
I think
Wow.
that's the best way. Yeah. So anybody who dies at sea gets put right there.
Wow.
I'm not sure the one that's in Puerto Rico. I was going to go look that up.
Oh,
It might be sometimes part of Canada gets
oh yes.
list as being
If people, yeah, because if people don't enter the full, like the province and or state and country name,
Yeah.
then what the mapping does is it tries to guess. So if people just put the first, and that's where if you put just the name of the town but no other qualifier,
Yeah.
and the town has a French sounding name, then it usually finds a French Caribbean island and thinks it's there.
Oh my gosh. This is so fabulous.
So it's kind of funny. But you can see you've got lots of ancestors who started out in Europe and then a huge cluster in the States and a few traveled into Canada, but
Might want to pay attention to that little dot in northern Italy. Just saying.
That's right.
Did
Yeah.
you find an Italy connection for me?
There.
don't jump ahead.
Yeah. Spoilers. So here's a zoomed in. There's your European there chunk around London and just north of London, of course, a little bit of Ireland, and a good sampling of European countries, especially the northern there. But
so these are my direct relatives, or these are people who are also connected to me through marriage?
Connected through you as married. These are all profiles that were added during your challenge group. So there'll be actually some who are connected to you, but were already on the tree, so they won't be these dots. So this is just where people were added.
This is all new. Oh my gosh.
These are all new people to you. And then there's the all new from the States.
Wow.
And you can see Michigan is going to sink into the ocean.
Honestly, yeah, we've been here forever.
But it looks like you have some retirees down in Florida, maybe.
Oh, yes. Yep. You know us, we love to do the snowbird.
That's right. So I did the same sort of map, and I chose two of your grandparents. So this is Grandpa Lang, and these are all the people connected to him within 7 degrees.
Oh my God.
So some of these profiles already existed. Some of them were new because of the challenge. And it's basically this very similar distribution. So that's, which would be to be expected, right?
Right. Yeah.
And then when I did your grandmother on your mother's side, this is the same 7 degrees of her. And there's a little bit of difference there. I mean, you've got solid US, Northeast US, Michigan, but there's some Australia and some Northern Europe as well. So there's
that is so cool.
So
well, rumor has it that we were almost. How did the story go? We were almost eligible for the Mayflower, but not quite. I never looked into it, but
I think Lewis might have some news about that.
Oh,
we'll see.
Yeah,
there's something related to that. But anyway, so some of your I don't know if they're in-laws did end up in Australia.
Yeah, I remember doing just a tiny bit of research one night. I couldn't sleep, and I was like, the mother of the in-law of the cousin of the in-law, and you finally you're like, where the heck have I even gone?
Where have I even gone? That's right.
And I know everybody knows exactly what I'm talking about because we've all done.
That's one of the nice benefits of doing the CC7 is you can be all the way out there and they still count.
That
I
is
think in this
so
case,
cool.
I think this is CC9 for you.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
But
that is
again, 7 is just arbitrary. Go with 9, then you get to have Australia in there.
That's right. Yeah. So I'm going to share a few. We've got some interesting finds for you. So I'm going to share a few
some good
quick
stories.
ones. Yeah, these are the stories.
I
So
love
I've got just a few little teasers.
Okay.
But then I'm going to turn it over to our other guests who will give you a little bit more meat. So the very first interesting find that someone found, and I should have paid attention to who it was, but that's on a different screen. So
all on the spreadsheet, all in the score sheet, so you'll be able to, not the score sheet, the space page, so you'll be able to see who these all came from.
Yeah. So the first interesting find that someone put down is Eleanor Wilson.
Oh, on my husband's line.
Yes. So that would be a sister of your husband's.
Fourth grade?
4th grade. Yes. Good.
Yeah, we have a
good,
picture of him.
good eyeballing that.
Got a picture of him at John Wilson's cemetery stone.
Okay.
And Eleanor is so apparently she was killed, but I never got the story about that.
So she was poisoned by her husband. Arsenic.
No.
Yes.
No way.
Yes. And they didn't take kindly to that, so he was hung for that.
Oh my God, this is fascinating.
And not only was he hung, but he was buried under the roadway, so his spirit would never rest as people traveled over top.
Yeah, it was Lisa Gervais who found
Lisa
that
Gervais was the one who found that. Yes, thank you, Lisa, for claiming that. Yes, I remember reading it, but I didn't retain it. So thank you, Lisa, for.
So I forget what the word was. What's the word that we called it when during the American Revolution, when the people who were sympathizing with the king,
royalists,
a lot of them went to So I thought that she married somebody like that.
Yeah, there's more details. If you go to her husband's, I think it was Nathan. If you go to his page, it has all the details. On her page, it has a summary and then a link. And there's actually it looks like there's a PDF attached to it, so you could actually read the whole story about it.
I'm so glad I blocked my schedule. I cannot wait to dig into this.
So great work, Lisa. That was super. The next one. So
hung for poisoning her. Oh my God.
Hung for poisoning. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
There were a lot of, there was a number of first cousin marriages, so people kept popping those up.
Yeah, tons of it.
And here's one in the same family. So one set of grandparents had two first cousin marriages. So you can see the blue couple, Warren Hefner and Mary Wilson, were both grandchildren of Maria Lansing and James Wilson. And then another Wilson pairing, Albert Wilson married Jenny Wilson, who are also first cousins.
Oh my gosh. You know, I've spent the longest time trying to figure out if all the records that had Jenny Wilson's name on it, if they just were putting her married name. I spent the longest time, and then I realized, no, actually she was the daughter of a Wilson, but I never put together the whole first cousin thing here. I have a lot of them on my mom's side. I didn't know my husband had them on his side as well.
Mm-hmm. So that now talking about marriages and combinations, here was another interesting find. This was sort of the most convoluted. Well, interesting. So,
so far,
three Dislers married three Hoslers. Now, first of all, I've never said that sentence before in my life. But the family of the children of Abraham Disler and Mary Jacoby. There was Elizabeth, who married Michael Hosler. So there was Elizabeth Disler, married Michael Hosler. Mary Disler married Samuel Hosler. And Franklin Disler, the youngest brother, baby brother, married Mary Hosler.
Oh my gosh.
The Hoslers, Michael and Samuel, were brothers. So I added, those are his parents, Michael. They're both the sons of Michael Hosler and Rachel Schoenberger. And baby brother married down a generation. So his wife's father is another brother of theirs. So there's the Michael and Rachel. So there's
oh my gosh.
So they're all, there we are. So this app is another one of my apps that I've created. It's called the Super Tree.
That is so cool.
So I can show you if you like.
We will give you links to all of these things when.
Oh, thank you. I was getting ready to send an email and say, can somebody send me those?
No worries. And you can reach out to any of us as well.
That's right.
Thank you.
So the Super Tree app works like when you load it up, it loads your initial ancestors and 2 degrees of ancestors, siblings if you have them now. Because you're a living private person, your parents are just listed as private father, private mother, and sibling, right? But if we go up a generation, there's the next, and then we can add branches, and then the Super Tree.
Oh my gosh!
Can go forward, and we could go. I'm not sure if your first cousins are going to be listed here, but they would load up there, and so you can go up 7 generations, down 7 generations, and then up to third cousins deep.
Wow.
Eventually, you can just get it printed out on wallpaper and just do a
Exactly.
That is so cool. Wouldn't that make the best wallpaper, really? Like if you had a great room, you could just paper it with this.
Yeah, that would be cool. There are lots of other apps that you can explore.
Oh, look at that.
There's a fan chart app, which is another one that I created, but there are lots of different apps there. So there's, and I've got this one, I think. Yeah, I was playing with this the other day for another reveal.
So are these all apps that you did once you retired?
Yeah.
So when I retire, I'm probably going to do even more great things.
Yes, there you go.
Just look at this. I cannot wait to have that time.
Yeah.
Oh my
so there's
gosh.
lots and lots of amazing apps here, including one that actually will list everyone who's in your CC7.
We use this a lot when we're doing the actual work.
Yeah.
The CC7 view one, because you can sort it once it loads. You'll see you can sort by who has parents and who doesn't, and who has spouses and who doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, one of the things about this CC7 app, I was actually using it last night because some very kind WikiTreeers worked on my tree over this last month.
Yeah.
And so I had to sort of reveal for me last night, along with some other friends. And you can actually sort this list by when the profile was created. So I clicked on this button, and after it loaded, it sorted it. So I could tell which of the profiles in that list were ones that were created new.
Wow.
And which ones. So if I click it again, it should sort it the other direction. I need to be patient, probably. There it is.
Oh my gosh, look at this.
So you can see the most recent ones are done by Chris Ferriolo.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Dang.
And then
what's it mean when it says orphaned?
So that means that, so when you first create a profile, your name is attached to it as the manager for that profile. But if people are working on a challenge or for your tree or on the Connect-a-thon, when they're done their work, they usually take their name off as the manager, because if Chris has created a profile and then I want to go and change it, there are some things that I can change and edit, not a problem. Then there are other things, like if the last name at birth was wrong, if there was a typo in that, or if we found a document that said, well, actually, that's their married name, or that's the name they chose after they went across country and had an adventure, but their real birth name was something different, those things can only be changed by the profile manager themselves. So if you orphan the profile, that means that anyone can make those changes if needed.
Oh, okay. All right.
And it also means you get fewer messages in your inbox about something needing to change on these profiles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's just a teaser of some of the things. I'm going to turn it over now to Chris to tell you about these Italian connections, since he was the hottest one here.
Oh yeah, this is interesting. You like Italian food, right? We can talk. You
love
like
it.
Food. Yeah, you
love it.
Why not? What you do? All right. But here's the thing: your Italian connections are far northern than mine are. They are so far north, almost in Switzerland, basically. These people are the Sinellis. And let me look at my notes real quick here. Notes.
So,
look, they came to Ann Arbor. What?
They did,
This will actually tie into my interesting find.
I know, it will, yes.
Oh my gosh, look at this.
I planned that so that the two of you could pass it on.
Yeah, thank you. I'll just kind of go through my notes. Anyway, here's Luigi Sinelli, and he was born in a town that's like so small. It's like 3 houses. I mean, that's not a knock on the town at all. I mean, there's a lot of towns in Italy that are like that. But this is like really small. I mean, he was born in a town called Dernice. Yeah, Dernice. It's in Piedmont, Italy. And this town doesn't even have a directory on Antonati, which is the Italian government repository for all the births, marriages, and deaths in Italy.
Wow.
Yeah. And unfortunately, that wasn't working for a few days this week, but now it's working. So, anyways, let's see. He married a lady named Angelina Prosello, who I think was from the same town. Let me look.
Yeah.
From the same town. She was born in 1883. And they both got married in Detroit in 1905. And then the two decided, you know what, let's go to Ann Arbor, Michigan. Okay, so they settled in Ann Arbor, and they had a whole bunch of children, almost all guys, actually. Yeah, it's all guys. All guys. Mm-hmm. And each one of those guys served in World War II.
Oh my gosh.
Really?
So you can see all their records and everything else like that.
Yeah.
All their everything else. And they had some of them had children, grandchildren.
Wow.
All the way to like the present day. And I think maybe some of them were on Ancestry because when I did a search, I saw some Stanellis that were active users on Ancestry. I'm like, oh, interesting, cool. So you might want to contact them.
That is so, and I just can't believe they all came to Ann Arbor, like where I lived for 30 years, you know?
Oh, stranger things have happened.
And now I'm only 20 minutes away, so I can go see their grave sites.
Yes. Yeah, some of them have grave sites in, I can't really pronounce this town's name, Washtenaw?
Washtenaw, yep.
Yeah, Washtenaw. Yeah, this guy died in 1996. He might still have a grave. Yeah, he has a fine grave. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, there's.
So these are the ones that you and I are both connected to?
No, we're connected via my mom. So.
Okay.
Yeah. So the French side.
Yeah. So the actually to my mom's English side.
Oh, English.
Yeah. You get my mom has a couple of English.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, all the Italian connections. So yeah, you can go meet.
And how am I connected to these guys?
Let me.
It's a fifth degree, I believe. It's through the Havens family indirectly.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah. So that leads nicely into, I'm going to turn it over to Celia now to talk about this one person here. Looks rather innocuous, you know.
Dora Clevenger.
How interesting? How crazy could it be?
So the craziness was amazing. We were working on Russell Havens, I believe, and he married a woman named Marguerite O'Connor, and we could not find. She was born in Dublin. Her parents, Edgar and Ruth Jane Bryan, could not find them anywhere. We went through, everything. He was a lawyer in this small town in Michigan, went through everything, could not find them. So we back up, and Mel showed up, and she this came from Amanda was researching it first. She couldn't find anything. She passed it off, and Mel was helping, and Mel found Ruth, their daughter. I think their daughter was named Ruth
Carla.
Havens. She found her.
Oh,
no,
the other daughter.
She found her Social Security death thing, which listed her mother as Dorabelle. And as soon as I looked for Dorabelle, we found so much. Apparently, Dorabelle, when she got married, she must have really liked the name Marguerite because she went by it a lot. But she got married 5 times. She didn't have the same name in a single one of her marriages.
Get out. Oh my gosh.
She lied about her age. She lied about her parents. She lied about where she was born. And
what was she hiding?
I don't know. I don't know that she was hiding anything. Like, it's sort of interesting because we have no idea. Like, was she a pathological liar? Was she... the first time when I found the Marguerite one, she'd lied and made herself like 5 years older. And I was like, oh, obviously she wanted to
get married.
Well, that was her second marriage. All of them, incidentally, are listed as being a first marriage. Like, this right here is enough soap opera for your entire afternoon.
No way.
Nobody's perfect. So
yeah.
Dora Bell, what were you hiding, girlfriend?
Dora Bell.
So, like, Dorabelle Crane is actually her mother. Her parents got married. They got divorced very early on. Her parents, but this was gorgeous for Greg's super tree because it just keeps going.
Yeah.
But
Oh
she
my
got married
gosh.
5 times. She actually stayed with the last guy until death. I think, I'm not entirely sure, because his obituary says that he's survived by his wife, Sharon Anderson,
Oh no.
and also a stepson who is Anderson was her previous marriage. It was her stepson from that previous marriage. So like she seems to have had a reasonably good relationship with people that she was, living with his kid. It's just she didn't raise Ruth, as far as I can tell. She's not in any censuses. He must Russell also got remarried, so I guess she stayed with him.
Yeah.
That's
a lot of marriages, and look how short those marriages must have
been.
And
wait, let's go back. Can we go back to the previous thing? Because
okay, here.
Yeah, scroll up to the top where we can. Oh no, sorry, it's not on the top for you. Down to the side so we can see all the spouses.
Right.
I put in all of the start and end times. And if you look closely,
just a few months.
See, for example, let's look at Sinelli. When that marriage ended.
Yes.
Oh my God! Wait,
what?
She did not.
I'm not sure.
She did too.
Because she was not actually married under her legal name in any of these cases. So.
Oh my God! I love this.
Yes, I was doing this. I was like, oh my God, she's going to have so much fun with.
Oh my gosh, what in the world was going on?
She got married. If you look between Russell and Anthony, she overlaps only by like a week or two, but then she just stayed with Anthony, married to Anthony until well into
the world.
It's much simpler that way. Get married first, get the divorce later.
Right? Yeah, honestly, rack up a few husbands.
Well, look, like one's in Indiana, the other one's in Ohio.
Yeah.
Are those?
But I mean, like she, he had to have known about the previous one because she took her kid with her.
Oh.
What in the world?
So this is the Sinelli family that he's mentioning. Yeah. So this was all of these people were like, I think she's CC4 from you. So everybody involved in this got to go. Like my 40, I think I had 45, 49. It was, I believe, entirely her spouse's relatives.
This is so phenomenal. I cannot wait to dig in on this first of all.
Yeah, this is a lot of drama.
Dora Bell, what the heck, man?
And I tracked down all of the marriage certificates just to get all of the details. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
This is crazy. Like, why'd she make up all these names and occupations for her parents?
She often kept the first names of her parents.
Right? Like she kept the first names. The first one, when she got married, she actually used her stepfather's name. Charles Crane was her stepfather.
So that was a real person.
That one is correct. That one has the right names for the parents. And technically, she got married as a Crane, which she was probably living at the time because she was raised with her with them. But then from then on, she goes to being Marguerite, except in the censuses, she's still listed as Dora.
Right.
Until 50. But yeah, it was just the drama was amazing.
I love it.
A separate section just so I could have all of that drama in a little.
Like, where did Marguerite even come from? Like, did she just pick it up on her own?
I guess she really liked that name, Marguerite Evelyn. I assume because she did use that one.
Wow.
For everything.
Yeah.
But like, when she married Anthony Sinelli, she was her mother was Italian all of a sudden.
I mean, I'm cracking up because up there, one of it said she listed her father as a lawyer for one of the marriages.
Yes.
Yeah, he was a stonemason.
I mean, because it's funny because the Havens, this Havens line, well, I'm thinking of Russell Havens, but they weren't highly educated people. Most of them, they were general laborers and farmers.
Yep, they all were.
So talk about reaching,
wow.
And
a lawyer.
What was I just? Yeah, she definitely wanted to be more.
Obviously,
more.
Yeah.
She came from LA when she married Anthony, and her parents were her mom was from Venice.
I can't wait to dig into this one.
There was one other thing, and it just slipped my mind. It's gonna annoy me later on. But yeah, she was. It was a real tree. Oh, none of the, as far as I can tell, no other tree on the internet actually figured out all of her
connections.
Yeah.
Way to go.
Like, there was a couple, like the Carla Sinelli. They got the Sinelli, and I think afterwards, but I don't know that they got before that, or that she and Ruth were half siblings.
Well, think about like when we were beginning an intermediate genealogist, right?
Oh, yeah.
If we had come across records like this, we would have immediately dismissed it at the time because we would have thought, oh, different dads, different birthplaces.
Oh, exactly. I mean, we nearly did. If we didn't have that record for Ruth, the daughter, it would never have occurred to us that these were the same people.
That is so crazy.
Yeah. So Catherine has just joined us. Catherine Lake Hogan. How you doing, Catherine?
Hi, Catherine.
Hi, I'm okay. Half my face is still frozen from the dentist, but I'm here.
Okay. You just walked in on this last amazing find that Celia talked about, where
did you manage
married 5 times, 5 different names each time.
So for this thing, if we did the super tree for this, it would just be insane. It would explode.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Ah, gosh.
So, Catherine, did you have any interesting finds or that you wanted to talk about? Things you found?
I went on a kind of a so I went up your Catherine. I went through your Uncle Vernon.
Okay.
And then to your Aunt Shirley.
Uh-huh.
And then I went up her line because eventually it comes to Canada, but not for very long. And when they came into Michigan, so the ancestor I started working on was James Palmer Brooks, and he went by Palmer.
Okay.
And he was married like 3 or 4 times. But all the people that he married, they had all been married and divorced multiple times.
Wow.
Like, I'm telling you, well, you already know this. Like, Michigan is an easy state to get divorced.
Super
divorced. It's super. It was back then, still is today.
Yep.
And all these people, aside from the first wife, all the other subsequent wives that he married, they had all been previously married and divorced, and then remarried after they divorced him.
Oh my gosh.
So he was a little bit of an interesting character. And unfortunately, I didn't have enough time because I was really tempted to research the other marriages of those spouses that divorced him to see if they ever remained married to their spouses.
You know who would do that? So my Uncle Vern and my Aunt Shirley was the Brooks. They have 2 granddaughters who are very into genealogy. My first cousin's once removed, and they're actually on WikiTree. So once I share this with them, I'm sure they're gonna dig right in.
They will. They'll have a good time with James Palmer Brooks because, like I said, all of his marriages were very were interesting, and some of the causes for the divorces were interesting too, because it wasn't always, at least for one of them, it wasn't the wives divorcing him. He divorced one of them, I think for cruelty or something like that. But so there's 3 of the wives right there. But that Bertha Ann Kendrick Brooks, she was married. She looked to me like to be a really interesting person. She was married at least 3 times, possibly more. And then, like I said, and then when you get into hers, that second marriage, that Charles Fountain, he was married numerous times. And you could go in all different directions with this, right? So those cousins will have a very good time researching like the marriages, right? Because the theme of the day with this particular line of your family was divorce.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, that'll be super fun to dig into.
Wow. Very, very cool. Neat.
And then, there was one more thing. I'm trying to think. It was, I think it's one of Palmer's children.
Okay.
And I think it's Frederick Guy Brooks.
Okay.
Yeah, and I didn't get into a whole lot with him, but he was born blind, and he attended one of the schools for the blind in Michigan.
Oh, really?
Yeah, really. So if you want, that's another one. I found that out on his World War I draft card. So he registered, for the draft, but he never served because he was blind. And there was some detail on that that said that he was blind. And then I didn't have time to really dig into the censuses, but on one of the census records, I think he was enumerated in one of the schools.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah, student school for the blind. And one of your cousins has a photo of him on Ancestry.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I couldn't download it because of copyright. But if you look at him, and she looked to be a cousin of yours, I'm pretty sure if you ask her for a copy of the photo for him, she would give it to you.
I wonder if it was Uncle Vern and Aunt Shirley's daughters, one of the two daughters.
Possibly. Yeah, possibly. Yeah.
Oh, if not, they're going to love this information.
Right? They might already know it. Is it Kristen?
Yeah, Kristen. Yep.
Yeah, that's the name that I saw on the tree. Yeah. So I think she has a photo of this guy here.
Okay. All right. Oh my gosh, how exciting.
Very cool.
Thanks, Catherine.
You're welcome. That was fun. I had a good time.
Catherine and I almost got together today. We were going to get together. Well, no, not today. Because we talked about doing it after your dental appointment.
Time didn't work out.
Because of this. So we still have to do that. We're going to get together.
Good. So we found lots of stuff. And Lewis obviously found lots because he created so many records.
Dang.
But there was one thing he was searching for but didn't quite find. So Lewis, do you want to take over and talk about that?
Thanks, Greg. It's nice to have 3 Canadians now on the panel here. Okay, so
where do you want me to go?
Go to the number 7 in the interesting finds.
Okay.
And this is on your shown line. It's on your Lang line.
Okay.
But your great uncle was Ernest Schoen.
Yep.
Spelled Schoen.
Yep.
And that intrigued me, and I found most of the relatives there. And I got to wondering, in Winnipeg, we have a star football player playing for our Winnipeg Blue Bombers. His name is Dalton Schoen. And he has a Wikipedia entry. So I wanted to find famous people for you. So I thought, if he has a Wikipedia entry, he's a famous person.
Right.
And we connect him to your Schoens. So this was a case of very interesting. I followed your Schoens back, and you had about 5 generations of Schoens in Michigan and coming from Germany before that.
Yep.
And then I went to Dalton, and he was born in Kansas. And he had 5 generations of Schoens born in Kansas going back to Germany.
Oh,
now,
maybe back in Germany.
I followed the lines another 7 or 8 generations.
Wow.
Oh. So if you have some Y DNA from your Schoen line, maybe the next football game here I could accidentally bump into Dalton and
this is hilarious. Like, my husband would love that. My husband is huge into football. I'm so football illiterate that one time I was trying to order tickets for him before he got deployed, and the University of Michigan athletic office said, "Where do you want the seats to be?" And I'm like, I don't know, like, is it better to be behind the sticks or in the middle of the sticks? And she's like, "Do you mean the goalposts?" And I'm like, "Yeah, those sticks."
The thing sticking in the ground.
I am so stupid when it comes to most sports. I had no idea. So my husband's going to love this. I'm going to have to replay this later so he can see this.
At any rate, that was a case of a negative find. We could not connect.
The negative find, yes.
The other interesting little things, my little divorce and remarriage doesn't match to the Dorabelle Chronicles that she found, or Catherine's great adventure that she found. So we'll go into that. The other interesting little things I did want to mention is just go to number 13.
Okay.
There, Greg.
Yeah.
And I noted that your second great grandparents, all 8 of them, all came to Wayne, Michigan.
Yep, Wayne County. Yep.
Same county, Wayne, Michigan.
Yep.
And your other great grandparents on the other side, didn't all come to Wayne, but they were all in Michigan at some point in their life.
They were. We have like deep German ties here in Michigan between both sides of my family.
I think the entire state of Michigan is related to you.
I'm sure it is.
He was trying to prove that by creating profiles.
That's right.
And I could say that I wasn't slowing down near the end. I am sure that if this challenge went on another week, we could have found another 2,500 profiles for you.
That is crazy.
2,000 of them would have been from Detroit.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like for 1850s, like about 1850s is when most of them came in and then settled and either, started to work in the auto industry, or if they farmed, then they moved out to like Shiawassee County on my mom's side.
The last thing I'd like to mention is we like to look for famous people that our guests are related to. And I spent a full day and I was looking and trying to find someone famous. I looked at all of your relatives and even some relatives through marriage that moved to California, hoping they'd be related to a famous movie star. But no, I couldn't find any. Finally, I went through, WikiTree has a whole bunch of different lists of famous people, inventors, actors, singers, famous politicians, and I went through every list to see if I could find a close connection for you. And unfortunately, as far as contemporary people, I couldn't find anybody. But I did go back and I did, WikiTree has a list of all the Mayflower
the Mayflower story. Apparently we just missed it.
So here's your Mayflower story. Your 10th great-grandfather was Arthur Howland. And he was not on the Mayflower, but his younger brother, John, was on the Mayflower.
Oh, there's the story.
So that's where you are connected. He was, however, one of the, what are they called again?
Puritan Great Migration.
Please, Greg. Scroll up a little on his profile.
There we go. Oh, on his profile?
Up. The other way. To the top. Because he's
there it is.
Yeah, he was one of the, he was part of the Puritan Great Migration project.
Wow.
People who came over. So he is important in that manner anyway. Now, the reason why you're related to all these other guest stars, directly related, is likely through this Mayflower line. Because so many, it goes back so far in America. I know that's probably the way you're related to Randy Seaver and many of the others. Of the guest stars, you were related to 80% of them.
That's so fabulous.
And I think, Greg, that's also why the CC7s did not go down very much, because this relation was the strongest and it was direct, and no one could get anything better than that out of.
It's how we're related.
Connection related.
That is so cool.
We're 8th cousins, and it's through one of my Mayflower lines.
Oh my gosh!
Wow.
And I did check the other featured connections that WikiTree has, and I was very surprised. I did not know WikiTree has famous Germans back in the Middle Ages. And you are connected
The Middle
to
Ages,
many of
huh?
them, 29 to 36 generations back.
Oh my gosh.
If you believe the sources from the
Right.
year 1000 to 1500 were actually accurate.
Right.
And to my surprise, a little bit further, there you have French connections and Scottish connections back in
Wow.
the Middle Ages as well. So if you
Dang.
click on those links that Greg is showing you, that you'll see some of the connections, some of the people you've been connected to, and you can see some of the connections.
I'm so excited that I like have the rest of the day blocked off so I can just dig in.
Yeah. There you go.
Oh.
There, Eleanor of Aquitaine. Yes.
Look at that.
Louis Bourbon de France. Yeah. Louis XIV. Yeah.
Napoleon.
Cousin
Napoleon Bonaparte,
Napoleon.
54 generations. And he's a direct relative.
Yeah.
Click on his 54 generations and see what he is.
21st cousins.
He's
Ken
close. Well,
He's
except for
closer
the,
than me.
well, except for the removals.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Dang.
More like a 30th cousin, and you're just like 27, I think.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Yeah.
This is so much work. Honestly, I can't even begin to imagine how many hours total with all the volunteers doing all this. I'm just so incredibly touched, honestly.
Oh, well, that's good.
You
There's
guys are fabulous.
yeah, Azure will email you all these links that we're shared,
Okay.
As well as that Google Drive where I put all those images, and
Okay.
for most of those interesting finds, I showed the path from you to that person, so how you're related. And some of those charts that we shared, I doctored up to just.
And this
highlight.
page that you're looking at right now, this is the same one that we were looking at when we did the video 2 weeks ago?
Yes. Yeah.
Because I still have the link for that? Okay.
Then you can look through that. Some of the things we didn't get a chance to talk about today, but we did identify military profiles, some of the people we found who took part in various wars. There's a bunch in World War II that were listed,
Yeah.
but a smattering from others as well.
The Ferriolos.
Oh,
Look
yeah.
at that, Chris.
No, look at that. Those are all the Sinellis. They all fought, just as Chris said. Yeah.
Oh, I got
Wow.
earlier, yeah.
The other thing that we keep track of is locations. So here's a list of all the locations that we visited as we explored. We got most of Canada, some Australia there, of course, lots of counties
Lots
in
of England.
England,
Yeah.
and then Germany. We broke it down into parts of Germany that we visited. And then let's see, how many of the United States did we get to? We got to 44 out of the 50.
That's it. We added 5 new states. We were at 39.
That is so cool.
Yeah. There we
Gosh.
go. So there's lots to explore. And
I can't wait to tell my husband about the Eleanor Wilson, his fourth great grandfather's sister. We had heard that she was killed, but I don't think any of us had inherited any of the stories, and I hadn't dug into it yet, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That is so awesome. You guys are just fabulous. This blows me away. I'm just so incredibly thankful. Honestly, I can't say thank you enough for it. There's glitter cards coming to everybody.
Excellent. Well, thank you
Remember,
very much.
open it over the garbage pail just to be safe, right?
Okay. If we see your return address there, then we'll know. Okay.
Yes, absolutely. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. I feel like I just can't say thank you enough, really.
Oh, that's great.
I'm blown away. I cannot believe how fabulous WikiTree has been. Like every year you guys do more and more amazing things, and it's just phenomenal.
Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you. Well, it's a pleasure to do so, and especially with a special guest who's been so kind and so great to work with. So thank you very
so much. Gosh.
Yeah.
And,
we have a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Lots of people.
Yeah.
You have 2,500 new people to look at in the next 6-8 hours.
That is crazy. You guys are amazing. Gosh.
Yeah, that's great. Well, and I'd like to thank, on behalf of all the organizers, thanks to everyone who worked on this challenge. You did a great job. Thank you, Celia and Chris, for all the work you guys did in facilitating and captaining the ship, and Catherine and Lewis for working away. Congratulations, Lewis, our MVP for this time.
Great job, Lewis.
Yeah. The next WikiTree challenge will take place in August, and that will be Elizabeth O'Neill. And so the sign up is already live for that, I believe.
Yep, should be on the
yeah. And the next, of course, big WikiTree event starts tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock Eastern time, and that is the Connect-a-thon. So if you didn't think 2,700 was enough, we can add more and more profiles to Catherine's tree, or you can add profiles to any tree you wish anywhere on WikiTree. So stay tuned. There'll be LiveCasts every 4 hours starting at 8 in the morning. And so we look forward to seeing you there. And thanks again to everyone. And congratulations again, Catherine.
Thank you so much.
We'll see you around the tree. See you all.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.